We are magic.
We are a group of Muslim and Jewish teens in Los Angeles
who have come together to learn, to strengthen, and to support each other.
We asked Mustafa Hossein, a postdoctoral fellow at USC's School of Religion, to share the story of someone who shares this passion with us, Abdol Hussein Sardari.
In 1940, after the Nazis occupied France, Sardari found himself running the affairs of the Iranian legation.
Because of the Nazi occupation, the entire Iranian Jewish community was stranded there with no passports and no way to escape persecution.
Abdol Hussein Sardari, working as the Iranian ambassador in Paris, was living a very comfortable life.
He had a BMW motorcycle and an apartment in Paris.
When the Nazis occupied France, Iran was a neutral state, and Sardari wanted to maintain friendly agreements between Iran and Germany.
To cultivate that relationship between the Iranian government and Nazi officials, he organized grand events.
He wanted to understand how they thought, so he could outsmart them in order to protect Iranians in France.
Sardari went to expatriate Iranians living in Paris. He collected their names, their address, and their properties. He composed a comprehensive list. The Iranian passports didn't have a place for religion. It wasn't clear to the Nazis who was Jewish and who was not.
So the Nazis instructed the citizens to go to police stations and identify themselves. There are thousands of Iranian Jews in France at the time. To protect them, Sardari argued that Iran had been emptied of Jews in 600 BC by Cyrus the Great, and that no one in Iran was Jewish by blood, only Jewish through faith. He sent this argument in a letter to German officials, one of whom was Adolf Eichmann.
Eichmann said that he didn't see any difference between Iranian Jews and European Jews. This was like a death sentence for the Jewish Iranian citizens in France. In 1941, the Allies occupied Iran and left Sardari without any diplomatic privileges. He is working on his own now.
Sardari almost gave up. At this pivotal moment, his friend Ibrahim Morady, a Jewish Iranian living in France, convinced him to keep trying. So he came up with one more argument.
This was that the Iranians that had been labeled Jewish by the Nazis were actually an entirely separate people called Jagudis.
With the support of the Swiss embassy in Berlin, the Nazi officials accepted his argument. They asked the German officials to exclude Iranian Jews called Jagudis from execution.
Abdol Hussein Sardari saved thousands of lives.
As a human being, his actions are very powerful, and we can find so many Islamic teachings that tell us to do the same thing.
There is a verse in the Quran that resonates with a passage in the Talmud that says, وَمَنْ أَحْيَاهَا فَكَأَنَّمَا أَحْيَا النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا.
Whoever saves one life saves the world.
Pomegranates have significance in both Jewish and Muslim culture.
Some see the structure of each fruit as a reminder of the strength that comes from connecting with others.
We believe our relationships are the seeds that will grow empathy and inspire us to stand together.
Morady and Sardari, a Jew and a Muslim.
The support they gave to each other saved thousands of lives.
And the moment I was invited to talk about Abdol Hussein Sardari, I said, yes, that's one of my heroes. He didn't use this othering terminology in thinking about Jews, but he thought about that in me and you. And there is a huge difference, believe me, there is a huge difference between thinking about your life and people around you in this terminology, you and me, versus me and him.
Us and them, or me and you.
We are change makers, inspired to walk in Sardari and Morady's footsteps.
Join us as we create new ground together.
We need each other.
Our friendship can change the world.